Hello everyone. Welcome to our launch event. I am Nitin and I am super excited to share with you something remarkable about the future of physical operations. But first, let me set the context of why this matters right now. Look around us. We are witnessing the most profound technological transformation in human history. AI agents are writing code, analyzing complex data sets, and making strategic recommendations that rival human experts. Entire workflows that used to take teams of people are now being handled by autonomous AI systems working 24/7. Agentic workflows are emerging where AI doesn't just assist, it takes initiatives, makes decisions, and drives outcomes independently. Yet, here is a striking contradiction. While our digital operations are becoming intelligent and autonomous, the physical infrastructure that powers our economy, the refineries, manufacturing plants, logistics centers, they all still operate the same way they did decades ago. But that's changing rapidly. Autonomous vehicles are on our roads. Humanoid robots are entering factories. Experts predict that a billion autonomous systems operating in physical environments will be around us within the next decade. The same AI creating autonomous digital workflows is now enabling intelligent physical systems consisting of robots that reason, adapt, and coordinate with each other. Imagine harnessing this intelligence superpower for industrial sites. Facilities that predict equipment failures weeks in advance. Security systems that distinguish normal activity from genuine threats. And operations that coordinate intelligently across teams and systems. Sites that learn from every shift, every inspection, every incident, building institutional knowledge that grows stronger over time. It is no longer enough to just detect anomalies. We can now use contextual intelligence to predict them. We have reached a breakthrough moment. Three forces are converging: real time edge computing, multimodal AI processing, and proven autonomous systems. At Flightbase, our decades of building drone autonomy puts us at the center of this convergence. Through thousands of missions across refineries, manufacturing plants, energy facilities, we have learned something crucial. The biggest bottleneck isn't technology, it's the lack of intelligence connecting everything together. Sites generate massive data from sensors, cameras, and maintenance systems, but none of it talks to each other. None of it learns or gets smarter. With the AI superpower now available, we realized we could solve this fundamental problem. We could create the nervous system these sites have been missing. Today, we are making that vision a reality. We are launching Workos, the first truly intelligent operating system for industrial sites. Workos isn't another monitoring platform, it's the intelligence superpower purpose built for the physical world. Now you're probably thinking, how does it actually work? And how do we know that this is what site operators need? This vision came from thousands of conversations with our customers facing real operational challenges. Let me bring in my colleagues who have been on the front lines of understanding these problems and building the solutions. So we have Kosh with us, who is living in customer conversations. So let's learn from him. What are we learning from customers? And we also have Dheeraj with us, who will help us understand the technical architecture of Workos and how it helps us solve those customer problems. So let's start with Kosh. So Kosh, what are we learning from customers?
So, Nitin, the first problem that I want to tackle, and this is a big one, is what I'd like to call information archaeology. So, a lot of operators are having dig for basic operational information across different sources. Let me give an example. So, for one of the customers who's managing large agricultural operations, their biggest problem is theft. And whenever any such incident happens, their operators need to dig into data from different sources: CCTV cameras, drone footage, access logs, piece all of it together and make sense of it. So while talking to one of the operators, he told me they are spending more time actually finding all of this data than analyzing it. And by the time they're done piecing all of this information together, the incident's long gone, the perpetrator's gone. It's very difficult to make sense of all of it. So, and this is leading to millions of dollars in loss.
Right. I would guess that they might not be even doing it because it's just sometimes so complex, so difficult to piece all this information together because some of it from CCTV cameras, some of it from some other kind of sensors. And how do you humanly really put it all together? It's almost like impossible beyond a certain point.
I'm also guessing only skilled operators do that today. For example, CCTV, like VMS software, they're so complex. Even to get around one software like that takes a lot of time. And then you have so many systems. There's like guard scheduling software. Then there is like video analytics software. How do you go across all of them? I'm sure most of them don't. It just like they have bought a lot of systems, really cool systems, but I don't know if they're really leveraging all of that.
Like, it's all probably just independent, lying in different places, and unless you put them together, you don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
Right. So I think let's learn from Dheeraj. Dheeraj, on the technical side. On the technical side, what are we doing in Workos in order to address this problem?
So the primary problem is it's not about systems. So as humans, we have figured out how to connect databases, etc. We have been doing that for a long time. There are a lot of solutions in the market that already have been doing this for years. The problem is in the modalities of data. The data is in terms of videos, audio, text files. It's in terms of sensor logs, like text in a lot of ERP systems, API calls, etc. How do you fuse all of this data from different modalities together? So right now, what all these systems do is typically, not all systems probably, but most of them, what they do is they index all of that in text or in language. It is like describing a movie, narrating a movie instead of watching a movie. How much can you get of what is going on?
Just by
Compared-
reading the narrative of the
Exactly.
movie instead of actually watching it.
Exactly. So that's the difference. So these systems have been doing keyword like detecting, okay, there is a human, there is a car here, and then, okay, they were present at that time. So like go and figure out something. But that car was a police car. That's okay. That's totally normal. That's not supposed to trigger any alerts.
So they
Right.
don't even have full information about what's going on before you even piece things
Exactly.
together.
So they were not very well descriptive. And even today, there are a lot of people who are building systems where they are just piecing together everything in language rather than doing it in connecting all these modalities together, just like we humans do. We don't think of language and like vision. We don't convert vision into language before taking some actions, right? So that is where Workos is different. We are creating a unified knowledge graph where we connect language, vision, audio, all of this data together. And then we are able to correlate across these modalities. We are able to go across modalities and make those, like do that reasoning, do those analytics. That gives us that ability to figure out, for example, if there is a sound alert. Let's say one of the cameras picks up some sound, like some glass shattering sound, and it was not detected initially in the video because it was somebody from the some from that camera was because glass shattered behind the camera. Can you look at some other camera and check what happened, like all nearby cameras? Workos can do that.
So now-
Workos can reason about that.
So I think what I'm trying to say is that all this piecing of information was earlier dependent on humans, and in many cases it was just so complex to do that nobody was even doing. But now finally we have intelligence available or systems available will be able to do it for us and give us those insights or intelligence on top of this data.
I would say, yeah, I totally agree there. And I would say it's something that was not possible for the technology just, I would say, 1 or 2 years ago.
Yeah, right.
And now it is suddenly possible.
Correct. So I think let's move to the next. What else are we learning from customers?
Right. On similar lines, but slightly different, a lot of operators are working in a reactive mode. Now, what do I mean by that? Alerts are being raised after, say, let's talk about a theft, all right, or let's talk about an industrial site. One of our customers, they have multiple CCTV cameras along the perimeter of their site. And they have a lot of people who loiter, who walk around. Sometimes some of these people end up doing bad things. They break in, they try to steal. But then out of all the 1,000 instances of people loitering, how do you figure out who's an intruder and who's not in a predictive way? Right now, what happens once they break in, we are able to
There will be some alarms or there will
Yeah,
be some footage,
exactly.
and you'll be able to react to that.
exactly
But you're not able to really predict something from happening or like be able to take preventive action to avoid that.
exactly. And also So if you have a human operator on the screens, they're able to see, all right, this human is here. It looks a little suspicious. There was another person who was roaming around in another zone, and there's a car that's going by around. Now, with all the experience that the operator has, and if they're lucky enough to be spotting or looking at that exact
at the
scene
time.
at that time, then you're able to.
We do something about it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, in many cases, you will not be.
But if the system's able to predict that,
Correct.
or every human operator wants that, to at least bring.
So
it.
let's now understand from Dheeraj, like again from Workos side, on the technology side, what are we doing different? Because this is something that has been promised by so many other solutions in the market. That we will help you with preventive this, preventive that, in terms of maintenance, in terms of security. What is different this time in Workos?
So there are in two directions. We are doing things that enables us to do this predictive maintenance or predictive security operations, etc. One is the direction of intelligence, which is ability to make these correlations, find these patterns across temporal, across spatial, in spatial domains, etc., across these different modalities of data. That is one key piece of technology that enables us to derive
solve this problem.
to solve this problem. Other aspect of this is a lot of previous systems have tried to do this. The problem has been for every security operation or every, let's say, oil and gas company, the scenarios and what are the actual, patterns that constitute to some kind of threat changes. It's not something that you can sum up into 10 or 100 or 1,000 different scenarios.
Predefined.
It cannot be very deterministic. If you
Exactly.
try to do it
Right.
in a deterministic way, there will always be something that escapes or that
Exactly.
you're not able to capture.
So there are a lot of predictive systems in operation today, but their scope of what they can do, what they can sense, what they can predict is very limited. That is why overall still a lot of these sites are vulnerable both from security perspective, from
So that is why this is still an unsolved problem. And now because we have very high quality kind of probabilistic reasoning systems available, we can potentially solve this problem.
exactly.
Okay. Thanks for sharing that. Kaushal, what else are we learning from customers?
So we have the incident identified. Let's now switch gears into, say, inspection. Reporting. This is a big challenge. Not only inspection, security as well, but let's talk about this inspection use case. In an oil and gas facility for our customers, they are creating inspection reports against compliances daily. Now, these are 2, 3, 4-pager detailed documents for
different
multiple
assets.
assets across an oil field. And they're having to do this weekly, sometimes daily, and it takes anywhere between 30 minutes to 2 hours to create one report. Now, we are all humans. There are two aspects to this. One is we sometimes make mistakes, and sometimes we avoid responsibilities and we try to shrug it off. So just the inefficiencies of not getting these reports out on time, or maybe not making them at all, to even missing out details.
So the
That's very
quality of report will vary depending on, it could be intentional or unintentional, but finally the quality is not what it should be.
and the inefficiency, the time it
The
takes.
time it takes.
Yeah.
So it's both inefficiency and the quality that gets impacted, and finally
Right.
we do not have that kind of report.
What if we were able to bring that time down? That would be really good.
Yeah, Kaushal was also telling me one of the customers that he was talking to. So they have, like, usually on Fridays when somebody notices there is an leak or something like that, and if it is a minor leak, of course, major leak everybody is responsible. For minor leaks, they are like, it's Friday, like evening, I need to go home because if I have to report, it will
Yeah.
take a couple of hours to do that. That means I have to
When they report it, now they have to do something about it.
Exactly. You report it, then you have to do something about it. So they better like, okay, I'll come on Monday.
It's not that severe. I can just kind of postpone it a little.
They come on Monday and it's already boom.
So again, coming back on the technology side. So no, again, these are things that have been promised by previous generation systems. What is different this time? How are we solving it this time?
So I think reporting has, like, one element is that whatever human intelligence is coming into reporting in terms of what they see on the ground. But beyond that, there is so much work that everybody has to do just to file that report. There's of
Right.
course editing, like there's a lot of mundane work in terms of formatting, etc. Of course, that is very easy with AI to kind of help with that. But beyond that, a lot of times when, let's say in security, whenever security customers want to report, they want to show that across like a particular security standard, when they took certain action like this, let's say there was an incident, operator took this action. which compliance like pointer did it actually kind of
Impact.
tie impact or like had was tied. So they want to show that in report because finally they want to be compliant and they want to show that all the security operations are compliant like this. So tying all of that together is something that you will have to do all over again every day. So
And
why not?
very cumbersome, and again, same human issues might prevent us from getting that kind of report, that quality of report.
Exactly.
And I assume that this applies not just for security, but also for inspections. Again, inspections, there are standards that you need to meet.
I think it's everywhere, and there's another angle to it. So another problem is a lot of times when you are reporting, you have to get data from so many systems together to create a comprehensive report. That also becomes trouble. Just like
Right.
during analysis, it is forensic analysis, it is a trouble. Also for reporting, it is a trouble.
Makes a lot of sense. And now again, we are saying that with the kind of technology that we now have available in terms of visual reasoning and everything,
Yeah.
that we can create much higher quality reports, and of course very efficient compared to doing it. Question. Let's move to more such no problems that we understand when talking to customers. What else are issues that you?
Right. So we now have the incident, we have data fragmentation covered, we have the reporting aspect covered. Now there is a big piece in the middle that is action, right? So if there is an incident that comes up, let's talk about a security use case. It's quite easy to understand. If there is say a man loitering, a very similar example, around a fence, and now it's suspicious, the workhouse system knows it's suspicious. How do we take action today? Today, there is a lot of coordination between teams. A security operator will pick up his radio, he will coordinate with the ground staff. They might be sleeping, they might be somewhere else, getting them to the location fast,
Act
getting
on
them
it.
act on it. So, closing the loop of detection
And actually taking action.
to taking action is something that happens. And the pain point there is the coordination is really difficult. And also sometimes the human inefficiencies of just having the people available.
But let's double click on it. Why is it difficult? Because usually, like, you have all kinds of integrations. You have integration with radio system, with all kinds of communication systems. So why is it not working?
So from my perspective, the what actions to take depending on the incident is very subjective.
So somebody has to decide on what to take, and
Right.
only then you can communicate and do something.
Exactly.
There's so many protocols.
And,
And they could put in so many agencies involved.
and the loss in translation. I mean, now this operator has the visual, but the operator on the ground does not. And then coordinating and communicating all of that across different agencies, as you
For
mentioned,
effective response.
that's the actual pain point.
And I believe it's not just real-time coordination. It's also like there are a lot of alerts that come in SCADA system. And like then you are doing rostering. Who is going to go and look at what?
Yeah.
And
How do
then
you
something gets
prioritize?
lost.
How do you understand like
Yeah.
what is the most important thing that you need?
Yeah,
If you're
and-
doing
and
an
then
inspection. for-
sometimes you might miss, sometimes those are delayed because, and sometimes you are actually deprioritizing real alert that was actually like something that was very critical.
So again, no, let's understand from the technical side, what is it that we are doing in order to address this?
So I think one of the key things is to bring in AI in the middle of this coordination, working side by side with humans. So with Workos, what we are trying to do is we are bringing all of this intelligence in terms of what is going on. We have a real-time picture of what is going on at the site. We already know what is like where there are issues, what are the problems. We have all the context. We also know about who are the people who are in security roles, who are like operations role, when are they available, where are they right now, etc. So based on that, Workos can help with a lot of scheduling. It can help security managers do better rostering so that they can make use of whatever bandwidth they have in a much more
In
efficient
a
manner.
most optimal manner, they can prioritize what is
Exactly.
important and what is not.
Exactly. And also the extent to this human AI collaboration can go is all those security guards or let's say inspectors, asset managers who are or anybody who is on the site, they can have Workos as a companion. When they go to the field, Workos can help them access to information, report for them very easily from the field. Do all that coordination during the incidents. If you are sending somebody in the field to go and look at a particular leak, they can go there, take some photos, quickly make reports. Now with that, those guys will not be reluctant to go to field or they're reluctant to take alerts because it is 5 p.m. on Friday. They'll be like, okay, anyway, I just need to take a photo and I need to tell.
reduce their work so that they are more open to just getting it done. Otherwise, there is so much friction that,
Right.
that there is a
Right.
natural tendency to maybe delay it or avoid it.
Also, eventually, in a lot of situations where there is scenarios where you cannot send humans. For example, if it is armed guards, then can you send a AGV or a vehicle, like a ground vehicle, autonomous ground vehicle, to go and respond to that situation and keep the guards like at harm's way?
So
While
as
coordinating.
we integrate all these robotic systems into WorkOS, a lot of this response can be handled through non-human kind of agents.
Exactly.
That
Sounds
is
very powerful.
for sure.
Anything else, Kaushal? Anything else where customers are sharing with us what their pain points are and how we can help them with
So
work?
I'd like to preface the last pain point with a very important stat. In the next 10 to 15 years, a majority of the oil and gas workflow is retiring. And with that is the knowledge that they've gained over all these years retiring as well.
It's all the tacit understanding or
Yeah.
the tribal knowledge that
All-
they have.
All the
as a-
institutional knowledge that they have. And it takes anywhere between 5 to 10 years of rigorous programs, rigorous training, operations that they do to, acquire all of that information. Now, because of all the information that they've acquired, and this is across industries as well, and even in security, someone who's doing operations for the last 30 years has a very good understanding of what the issues may be. With all the information or the knowledge that they gain, they're able to make really good decisions in real time. With all of that information going out, and then the lead time of 5 to 10 years, how do you
training new people,
how do you maintain that
quality of operations.
quality of operation?
And I think this also, this is an important point because that also affects the quality of operations at different sites because you do not have the same level of training or same level of competence at every site.
Right.
So right now there is a huge variation in terms of how efficiently every site is operated.
That's a very good point that you bring. So one organization that we're working with, they have really mature practices in
One location,
one location, but then how do you percolate that
same
across
practices or
geographies?
Same,
There are cultural
Exactly.
differences. There are a lot of other differences that come.
So let's go to Dheeraj. So Dheeraj, this is a very important concern that many of our customers have, that how do they bring or maintain that level of operational efficiency at every location, every site, and with this problem of retirement and people moving out, how can we address that with work?
I think it starts with, first of all, breaking down what that institution knowledge is, what that task knowledge is, what is tribal knowledge. So, a lot of those things are practices or workflows that skilled operators do today. For example, if you have a major oil leak, what exactly do you do by SOPs? And at the same time, what is the gut or
feeling.
intuition
Yeah.
that any of that operator has because they've been doing it for 25 years?
Right.
They know exactly. Let's say there's a part that is rusted. This guy is in 25 years, he has been asset manager, he has worked there. He knows that kind of rust is okay. Don't worry about it.
And maybe
Half my
depending
site
on-
is like that.
depending on what location it is in, what kind of weather
Exactly.
it is in, and there could be so many different aspects.
Exactly. At one facility, if it is by the
Ocean.
ocean and rusting is okay because that's most of your site.
Yep.
But some place that's something very
Which
alerting.
would be more serious over
Yeah.
there.
So there is knowledge in terms of processes. There is knowledge in terms of intuition like this because they have just done it. Sometimes the guys can go to an asset and they can know what is going to happen here.
Right.
Just because there is a shouting like a thundering noise or something like that, they know this is something that might result into some other situation. So there are a lot of things like that workers can learn along the way. When these operators, when these security guards, when these asset managers go in the field, when they're operating, when let's say workers says based on drone inspection data, there's an alert. And now the guy goes to that site. And they see that, okay, this is not an alert. Don't worry about it. This is very common. Now AI can go and workforce system can go and learn that.
Learn
Right.
how they acted, how they behaved in a certain situation, and next time it can get better and better at
Yeah.
helping them out.
And we are also going for the tricky situation where one operator says, this is not a problem. Another one says, oh no, this is a problem. And that's going to be funny. That is also tribal knowledge because there is for sure this particular person who has some perspective on why that is a problem. And there is an opportunity to go and learn that. And I bring all of that information together in
Right.
one place.
Right. So what you're telling me is that WorkOS is this learning system. It is not just a software solution. It is not just a decision kind of
A static, it's not-
static decision tree system that if this happens, do this, if this happens, do this. Not like that. It's actually learning as it is working with its operators, with the people in the field, and it is able to kind of learn how they are making decisions, how they are acting, and can use all that knowledge in order to make better decisions going forward.
Exactly.
Right. That's a game changer. And
Also.
all the things that we have discussed, right from data fragmentation to being predictive and to like reporting and so on. And like finally, I think the core is the fundamental nature of the software is not the same as what it used to be a few
Yeah.
years ago. And that is why a lot of customers think that they have already been promised these kind of systems, they don't really work. We understand why they don't work because the technology was not there. And now the technology that has recently become available, all this AI native approach to solving problems, that is what is helping us solve these problems with Workos.
Absolutely.
So thank you, gentlemen, for joining me for this discussion and helping us understand what kind of problems customers are facing and how we are planning to solve them. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Well, this is just the beginning. Two worlds need to come together to solve these problems. There is a world of physical sites where you are the domain experts. You understand the operations, how they actually work, what's normal versus what's concerning, the nuances that only years of experience can teach. And then there is a world of AI, where we have developed deep expertise building autonomous systems, intelligent technology that can learn, predict, and coordinate. These two worlds must unite. Neither one can solve these problems independently. That's where collaboration becomes absolutely essential. Today, we are excited to launch the Workos Beta program. This isn't your typical beta. This is an invitation to help shape the future of these intelligent operations together. Applications are now open for leaders in energy, manufacturing, logistics, agriculture, and other large scale physical site operations. Thank you for your time. Let's work together to make our sites truly intelligent.